Oh, why do I have to cool down the whole damn house? Just get it cold in here. Oh my God, it's already set. All I gotta do, turn the whole house to 68. There goes another $300. God, I just want it cooler in here. That's it.
My son, stop wasting BTUs to cool rooms you're not even in. You don't need more AC. You need smarter AC. I bring you ACiQ.
Oh, man, that was just a dream. God, why are you playing with me?
But my son, I got ACiQ. Do you?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much for tuning in. It's me, Mikey Pipes. Today we're going to be solving one of the biggest problems in residential HVAC, cooling the rooms that matter without wasting money on the ones that don't. Today, featuring the ACiQ 9000 BTU Extreme mini split single zone heat pump system, we are going to be making this couple comfortable in their master bedroom without having to cool down the entire home. Now, as many of you know, if you want to cool down the temperature in your room, that means you got to lower down the AC. And if you got a single zone central air conditioning system in your home, that means you're going to cool off the entire home to satisfy the conditioned space of one. I don't know about you, but that's wasteful. That really is. So today, in collaboration with ACiQ and our first dealer of the month, Kings of Mini Splits, we are going to be taking care of this family and be installing a properly sized, properly installed, dependable and reliable ACiQ 9000 BTU mini split system. I can't wait to share it with you. I know that tonight, when this family, this couple goes to sleep, I'll be getting an attaboy. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, before we just throw a system on the wall and call it a day, we need to size this room properly. And this is how you get comfort, efficiency, and longevity out of your new system. First thing, let's measure square footage. So we're about 14 feet by 12. So that gives us 168 square feet. But that's not the only thing we have to take in consideration. Now, this isn't just any room. We're in Daytona Beach, Florida. We have hot climate, high humidity, long cooling seasons, and all of that matters. Cement walls. The house is made of cement block. That's a big deal. That's not wood frame and siding. This is cement block wall. It retains that heat during the day and releases it at night. So what that means is even when the sun goes down, this room is still cooking. One big consideration that we need to factor in: orientation of the front door. You see that? This is the front of the house. It faces east. And that means that afternoon sun, that bedroom was on the opposite side of the home. It's gonna be baked by that hot sun all afternoon long into the evening. That solar gain adds heat load in the afternoon and into the evening, and it carries through into the night. So, position of the home. First floor bedroom, usually warmer in the summer and cooler in the winter, but we got this Florida high humidity concrete construction that holds heat. So we need to factor in the right size ductless system by ACiQ to make sure that we have the right size, which will give them the right amount of efficiency, reliability, dependability, and overall comfort for this gentleman and his family in that bedroom. So when we size the system, we're not just going to be basing it off of square footage. We have climate, construction, sun exposure, and most importantly, heat retention. Are you ready? Let's size this up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before you call me crazy, we're not going to use a manual J program or an app. We're going to use Chat GPT. And trust me, you're going to want to do this because it's accurate and it takes a lot of information into account as long as you give it the right information. I need to size a single zone ductless mini split heat pump system for a single story cement block home in Daytona, Florida, built in 1965 with no insulation updates. Double pane windows, 30 square feet in south and west facing bedroom, approx 180 square feet. Quite simple. You don't have to worry about typos. It knows what you're giving it. Desired overnight set point is 66 to 68 degrees and 75 during the day period. Hit enter, and look what it does. It's going to pull information from a variety of sources. All right, and it's going to give you an answer in about 30 seconds. It's going to a lot of different websites, including code books, what have you. And as I suspected, 9,000 BTUs is perfect. Daytona Beach design cooling is around 91 degrees, outdoor dry bulb, and ACCA design data. And it'll even give you like reference points of where it got this information from. You may think I'm nuts, but try it and then do your manual J with the app or the program that you have on your desktop computer, and you'll come up with the same numbers. So for a room like this, a 9,000 BTU ductless system is the sweet spot. That gives us a fast pull down, quiet operation, and no more short cycling. Plus, it's inverter driven, so we have kind of like infinite speeds. It's not like pedal to the metal in the car or your typical central air conditioning system where it's on or off. You have that variable speed inverter driven compressor, and the fan indoors working in conjunction with that, you have infinite speeds. So we're going to put in a phenomenal system in this client's home. So now that we've got the load figured out, let's get this system installed the right way. Are you ready, Mrs. Homeowner? We're gonna make this very, very painless for you. And tonight you're gonna sleep very, very comfortably. You may have to give me a 5-star Google review. Awesome. Let's get the show on the road, folks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, full disclosure, it is 5 minutes after 10 here in the morning in the great Republican state of Florida. Dallas and Juan are here. Tyler's already outside. This is Dallas. He's one of the owners of Kings of Mini Splits. Kings because there's 2 of them. He has a partner as well. You had a little bit of a drive here this morning, no?
I did. It took me approximately 2 hours up near the Leesburg area. We work a lot, do a lot of work in the villages.
I heard. And you have, I think, thousands upon thousands of homeowners in the villages, right? I think it's countless.
It is countless. They're telling me there's going to be 25 more years of homes being built in the villages.
Wow. And how long have you guys been around? When did you guys get started?
We started 5 years ago because my partner wanted to put an air conditioner in his garage. So we went to this warehouse and we started that, and we figured around and we got some help and we did it. Then I wanted one in a couple of my sheds at my house, and then I wanted one in my lanai. So he said, all right, we can do it. And we struggled with it, don't get me wrong. And then we started, you know what, why don't we start our own business? So 5 years later, here we are today. We've got our HVAC license. and my partner's an engineer also in our electrical. And so we do it all now, one shop.
You have Air A or Air B?
A.
Ooh, so no limitations.
That's right.
Yeah, I have the Air B, 25-ton limitation in the state of Florida.
Yeah, we do residential, commercial, schools. Well, actually, we're getting ready to do the Sumter County schools possibly. We're staying pretty busy.
Very nice. Now, to my understanding, you exclusively also install ACiQ for your mini splits, correct?
Yes, ACiQ is mainly mainly all ACiQ.
Is there
Unless a customer requests something different, then what we get with ACiQ,
Me as well.
get one.
Me as well. Now, is there any particular reason why you're so well aligned with ACiQ?
Well, they were great people. They give us a great opportunity, worked with us, helped us out, started. And Kevin, the owner of ACiQ, I couldn't ask for a nicer guy.
He is a really nice guy.
Yeah, we really enjoy.
He'll give you a shirt off his back.
Yes, he would.
He is.
We even did work with his own place here in Florida. He called us.
Not too far north of here, if I might add. So one of the reasons why I love ACiQ is forget about being able to private label it with your own name on the brand. You're not advertising Train, your carrier, Lennox. You're not advertising any other brand but your own. You're developing that relationship in the community. And guess what? A lot of people, may think people don't walk by that outdoor unit, but the landscapers walk by at least once a week. And you know what? And name and branding recognition. But most importantly, brand reliability and support after the sale. If I have a problem with a system, which doesn't really ever happen, knock on wood, right? I have a phone number I can call because I am a gold level dealer or better. You get an exclusive phone number to call for tech support. I wouldn't say 24/7, but you can always get someone on the phone. But they have a 0.03% failure rate, and half of that is because of installation defects. And it's mostly with the flare joints. And RTFM, folks, read the factory manual. People could think I was going to say something else, but it's a great product. For more information, go to aciq.com/Mikey Pipes. Are you ready to get rock and rolling here?
I'm ready to go.
Let's go! All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are getting rocking and rolling here. The unit is ready out of the box on a platform workbench that they brought. They're making note of the model and serial number of the indoor and outdoor unit. Let's go head on inside. They got the booties ready. We're gonna pop our shoes off. And let's go see what's going on here, folks. Oh, we gotta take this thing down. This is annoying. They say those child gates are childproof. Well, it almost had me beat.
Well, we got the big child.
All right, so the game plan, folks, once we get the flooring protected, I got my shoes off. We're going to put in that indoor unit right here, high up on the wall. Make sure we don't have that overhang there, that eave. And imagine being the homeowner, sleeping here at night, laying down in bed with the remote control or using the app, and click, click, and lowering it to any desired temperature, or increasing to any temperature you want. This guy and this lady is going to sleep very comfortable tonight and for many, many, many more nights to come. All right, folks, right now we got Juan manning the drop cloths. We're going to put down these protective tarps to protect the surroundings, make sure we don't get any dirt and dust anywhere that it's not supposed to be. I don't know about you, but a few years ago, I hired an HVAC contractor to put in a mini split system in my in-laws' home in Boynton Beach, Florida. And let me tell you something, the HVAC contractor needed to pay the housekeeper to clean up all the dust and dirt that was scattered throughout the entire home. This guy obviously didn't know what he was doing. And sure enough, a year and a half later, that outdoor unit died. The compressor died. But I guess he didn't pull a vacuum, but we're going to do that today. All right, outside, we got Tyler working on the indoor unit. He's ready to remove all the protective coverings off of the indoor unit, and now he's removing the electrical compartment from it. Tyler, can I ask you a couple questions?
Yes,
how old are you, and what got you into the trades?
I'm 31, and I just figured I'd get into the electrical side, or the HVAC side. I was doing electrical work for a while, and
What do you prefer better, being a Sparky or being an HVAC guy?
I like both of them.
I don't blame you.
It goes hand in hand, so it kind of works out pretty good. So.
Awesome. And how long have you been working with Kings of Mini Splits for?
About 6, 7 months, 8 months or so.
Awesome.
Something like that.
They good bosses?
Oh, yes. Yes,
Awesome,
sir.
awesome,
They're
awesome.
Great guys.
Great stuff.
Yes, sir.
So you're preparing this outdoor unit. Anything in particular you're looking out for?
No, sir. We just gotta get this this plate off.
They're a little stubborn.
Yeah, they can.
You'll get it.
Yeah, they can be. Each one's different. So we take this off right here, throw this little tab up, and then we'll run this communication wire right up through the
back of the unit.
And
Sweet.
Then, take the plate off and go put the plate up there in the room.
Yep.
Measure it and,
Amazing. You know, I find it fascinating how everyone does and install a little differently. It's like a blank canvas,
Yeah.
and everyone's a different piece of art. Like I start by putting the template plate on the wall, and then mounting that bracket, the wall mount bracket. Then I drill a hole, and I always bring my wire from outside in.
Yeah.
But setting it up now is also easy as well. I never thought of doing that before, but thanks for sharing that tip.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Awesome.
Sir. Yep.
Good stuff. I won't keep you.
All right.
All right, folks. Got the entire bedroom, even the curious cat. They say curiosity killed the cat. But Tyler is about to set up the template on the wall. We're going to drill a few holes. And we're going to get the unit mounted on the wall.
Yeah, so we got power down here on these walls, so just to make sure that we don't have wires coming down, we drill a small hole first.
Yep, little pilot hole.
Yep, go through it and just peek in, make sure there's nothing in the way, and then we just open the big hole just to make sure.
Awesome. You got the shop vac ready with the little dust collector right there, the air tip. Awesome. And of course, everything's already fully covered and protected. We are good to go. Right now we're just measuring for center between the side wall and the window. Now we're gonna make sure that we're a good distance from the ceiling. There are minimum distances that we need to keep in mind, but I think Tyler's gonna go somewhere around, I was gonna say around 6, 7, there you go.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And remember folks, when in doubt, RTFM, read the factory manual. Tyler right now is team yellow and black and yellow, team DeWalt, but we do got some team red down there.
We are team red.
I am team red as well. M12, M18. Folks, you're watching unedited, uncut, raw footage. You got Tyler from Kings of Mini Splits right here. And you got moi, Mikey Pipes. It just moved though.
Yeah,
It moved.
Yeah.
No, it's not off. It's off level.
Yeah. I was just putting
Oh,
that hole there.
We'll edit that scene out, or not. The bloopers. Can we get lucky?
Yeah.
See.
I think we can get lucky. Only one way to find out. All right, we're gonna drill a pilot hole right now, folks. Hey Juan, how's your hole?
Looking pretty good out there.
There you go. All right, so while the guys are inside prepping the hole and prepping the wall mount bracket, let me show you what we're doing outside. So outside, Right now, Juan is preparing the ground, leveling that up, removing some vegetation. We're going to be adding this hurricane pad, this giant piece of cement and foam block. That's going to act as the nice foundational base for the ACiQ 9000 Extreme heat pump outdoor condensing unit. There's our hole, pilot hole at least. This is going to look really, really awesome when we're done. We're going to come straight down and connect to here with the line set. The line set, we're using 3/8 and 1/4 inch. We got a communication wire and we got some drain hose. Now the electrical, we're going to hit that up last, but fortunately we have our crawl space access right there, and we have an electrical panel right there in the back left-hand corner of the home, which is going to provide 240 volt circuit for the system. Yeah, dead on the money, almost. Beautiful. Some of you may not think this matters, but when our clients trust us with their home, we treat it better than our own. Not only is it going to be perfectly parallel with the wall, it's going to be perfectly level as well. Look at that. Sweet. All right, so our wall mount bracket is on the wall. We're going to drill out that hole, hang the indoor unit. And you know what they say, a clean install separates the professionals from the hacks. Don't you forget that when you're thinking about installing a ductless mini split system. Make sure you use a licensed contractor. Some of you may be thinking, Mikey Pipes, why not install the unit on that wall or this wall? Why did you choose over there? Or if you just pick straws out of a hat. Folks, I install systems and place them where they need to be based on experience. I know that if I put the indoor high wall evaporator unit in that corner right there, when Mr. and Mrs. Jones is sleeping, that air is going to be blowing on their face. And while sometimes I like to be bundled under those covers, it's kind of annoying when it's blowing directly into your face. So we put it there, at the foot of the bed, and not at the head of the bed. We also didn't install it to the left or right of the window, the headboard, because we want to keep the backyard clear of any HVAC equipment. There's already an outdoor unit there, that Bosch IDS 2.0 3-ton inverter system that's whisper quiet. Put it right over there. Back of the house made no sense. Putting it there made no sense because they're gonna complain. Putting it there, perfection. We have no headroom in the attic for a ceiling cassette, so that left us with the high wall evaporator. Thanks to ACiQ. You got yourself there. I would call that the opener.
Oh yeah.
That is the ultimate at opening. Look at that bloody stud. Oh, that sucks. Oh man, that sucks.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta rely on just brute force. Unfortunately, they don't have a wood bit that's gonna fit in the hole that we already drilled, but this will work. There you go. See? A little bit of elbow grease. Now, I don't know about you, but that's a sexy hole.
One. You want to go out there and pull this through?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in just a few mere minutes, the ACiQ Extreme 9,000 BTU unit's gonna be on the wall. Tyler and Juan are manning this like professionals. Beautiful.
Hold up. Alright, cool. Hold up. Hold up.
There you go. And the insulation is not that cooperative.
Can you see it? Is it out?
Go slowly. Not all the way out. Slow. Push a little bit.
Huh?
Push a little bit.
You're stuck here. Hold that right there. Got it? There you go.
Alright, cool. What up?
Sometimes a little tricky, sometimes easy as pie. At the end of the day, you'll eventually get it. And she looks so pretty. See a little bit of a spray nine or a damp cloth on the floor, on the wall, and we good. Beautiful. Congratulations, Tyler.
Sir,
Looks tits. That looks beautiful. Wow. They are gonna sleep well tonight and many, many nights to come. All right, only thing left inside is cleaning up. Make sure we vacuum everything up. Put the dog child-proof fence back into place, but it's 11. Look at that. All right, so there's that outdoor connection point. We have our 1/4 inch, our 3/8, our communication wire, and our drain all through that hole to penetrate through the side of the home. We're gonna put some nice line side cover there. Line set. We're gonna put some nice line hide covers right here in white and connect to this beautiful outdoor unit. Now, full disclosure, guys, we have a crack. See? Just keeping it uncut, unedited raw. Sometimes mistakes do happen during shipping, but if it does, just call up your account rep, or if you bought this at a online vendor, reach out to them and they'll send you a new cover. Not a big deal. But if there's any other damage, to the metal, obviously you're gonna wanna report that as soon as possible.
Not coming up when I type it in. Nice split. Okay.
All right, as Juan was removing the plastic caps on the line set flare connections. We got some a bit of nitrogen out of there, and if you don't have it there, that could be indication of a leak. So when you remove those caps, you want to have a little prayer to the HVAC gods to pray that you get some nitrogen there. He's also applying right now some Nylog. I'm not a fan of it, but to each his own. He was trained that way. It's not going to hurt the system, but he's going to apply that to the face and the threads. And we have our first 3/8 connection. We want to limit the amount of exposure that those caps are missing from that indoor evaporator lines, because we don't want any of those non-condensables, the moisture, atmosphere, all that humidity get in there, because that's going to increase our time to vacuum down once we have all of our connections in place. Bring us over there from a little bit. We'll line it up. We'll make it finger tight, and then we'll torque it down with a torque wrench. I'm going to pass him the quarter inch now.
Whenever you run lines?
I don't actually use Nylog. Some manufacturers don't like it,
Okay.
and they'll void a warranty. And
Really?
listen, I'm not worried about warranties on HVAC equipment, but I don't like anything on that face.
Gotcha.
But to each his own. It's made by a great manufacturer, Refrigeration Technologies. They make a lot of other cool products. But one thing I would never do is put one of those purple gaskets they do sell. You see them in like some supply house counters and things like that.
Yeah.
I would not use that. You don't need a gasket there. You have a perfectly machined connection. You have a flare joint. Not necessary. Remember, we're gonna get that finger tight. It should go on freely till it's nice and snug. If it's not, you need to like make sure it lines up well in place. All right, well, Juan is using the Yellow Jacket torque wrench, holding back with another crescent wrench to the right pounds. Defer to the factory manual to get the right specifications. All right, folks, we got the line set ran. Now, an interesting technique that Juan is using here, he's using some conduit, insulated wire. Sorry, I said conduit, conductor. Insulated wire inside the piping as he's cutting the pipe. Interesting. I also noticed that he did the same approach when he bent the line sets up there, and he did that to avoid kinking the line. Really, really nice. Nice workmanship here. So right now he's cutting that 3/8 line to size. We're going to take that flare nut off of the condensing unit. We'll put that flare nut over the piping, and then we'll use a flaring tool to make that perfect flare. Even deburring the pipe. Wow! He must be only doing it for the camera.
Yeah, no, only when the camera's on.
There you go, tapping it to get a little deburred metal out of the inside of the piping. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of deburring piping because when you flare it, you're going to push that out of the way, but to each his own. Like I said, you learn new techniques every day, and our goal here, not only to make the trades great again, but to also learn from one another and get the job done. Sometimes they're stubborn.
Yeah.
Alright, let's see what kind of flaring tool he's going to use. Alright, got a flaring block.
Yeah, no, we gotta
I got an electric one in the van, but I like using this one a lot more.
Yeah. The is it the NAVAC NAVAC one or something else?
It's the same brand as this Superstar.
Ah,
Superstar,
okay.
Yeah. And it works pretty good.
Yep. I've been using, you know, I used a flaring block years ago. A couple years ago, I used this thing called Spin, where it goes onto your impact driver, and you use this high-speed moving, you know, tip that flares it. The issue with that, it gets very, very hot. So if you're holding onto the pipe, you're gonna burn your hands. And then a couple years ago, I bought the NAVAC automatic flaring tool, which, with a few exceptions, makes a perfect flare every single time. But it's like, you know, another investment.
Yeah.
And the tools, you know, they quickly add up.
That's for sure, yeah. And, the only annoying thing about this one is just
Setting it.
Yeah, and then having to two-hand it every time.
Yep.
But most power ones, I can just one-hand it. But I like this one just because I can almost trust myself every time I've done it. Feel more confident.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you set your right depth.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sure does. So folks, imagine going through all of this setup to flare the tubing and then forgetting the flare nut. We've all done it, ladies and gentlemen. We've all done it many times, not just once or twice. We've all done it many times, and especially when we're thinking about not doing it and not forgetting it is when we forget it.
Did you forget it?
No, it's on there. I'm just... The bosses, look, the bosses are under the canopy.
These guys are preying on my downfall right now.
No, you're good. Don't worry. No pressure here. This is uncut, unedited, raw footage. Good old kings of mini splits. Let's see that flare. Let's see that flare.
Only when it's on camera it starts getting jammed up.
No pressure. Let's see that flare. Yeah, that's a nice flare. Very nice. You gotta be kidding me. I've never seen a crawl space so low before. Wonder if there are any alligators in there. So Tyler just got out of the
For moles. Yeah, they
just
put it
got
over the
out of the crawl space. And what is that?
Some sort of trap.
That's a mole trap?
Yeah, put it over top the holes.
So when they come up, they get spiked.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Are moles bad?
Yeah, they just tear up your ground.
Really?
Root your ground all up, holes all over.
Moles. They tunnel. They dig.
tunnel.
They're diggers.
So jack your yard up.
Oh, man. So that kills them.
That'll kill them if it hits them.
Damn. All right. Now, Tyler is out of the crawl space. He's running some conduit right now so we can run our dedicated breaker, 240 breaker, from this nice circuit breaker panel, this outdoor panel here. How was that crawl space, Tyler?
Oh man.
It was brutal, huh?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
tight.
you were cursing the homeowner, weren't you?
Pretty tight.
Yeah. Very nice. So he's running that circuit through the crawl space all the way to here. And we're gonna have our disconnect panel with our surge protection device, and we're about ready to pull down a vacuum. We got the NAVAC. This is the 7 CFM vacuum pump. Very nice. We're gonna pull a nice, tight and dry vacuum on this system. As you guys know, moisture is the #1 killer of compressors. That oil, it gets in there, just messes up and fouls up the whole system. So as great as and beautiful as the install could be, you can mess it all up by not pulling a proper vacuum. All right, so right now, Juan is putting on a service tool onto that service port. He did not pull the Schrader core. But it's not really a long line. I think we have like 12 feet, 10 feet if that. So this will pump down quickly, even with that Schrader core in place. Setting a little valve there with a T to add your micron gauge. It's nice that he has the plugs inside on the hoses to keep the moisture and the atmosphere out of them. So that all hinders the time it takes to vacuum down a system, all that moisture and atmosphere. Think about it, folks. When you're pulling down a vacuum, you're pulling into negative atmosphere. So any moisture that's in the system is going to boil off. And we all know what happens, with water when it boils off. It expands like, 14,000 times its mass when it turns into that vapor, that steam. So moisture boils off and it expands. And that increases the time to bring your levels down below 500. Looks like he's got a field piece micron gauge there. Yeah. Yep. Look at that. Sweet. Beautiful.
I like the Testo one too. The Testo one's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Testo anymore. You know what? I went last year. I went with the JB Climate Class probes. Phenomenal.
Gotcha.
I was finding with the Testo smart probes, I was losing range with the Bluetooth connection. If I went inside, for example, it dropped off.
Yeah.
And it takes a while for it to reconnect.
Yeah.
But the Climate Class probes, very nice. You have temperature clamp-on probes, which were a problem because the plastic was breaking, and they fixed that. But the range is excellent. I could be like in a 3 or 4 story apartment building, being outside, and my guy upstairs can have the probes on the supply and return line. The supply and return ducts, and it's nice. All right, so the vacuum pump is on. And folks, full transparency, it is 1:01 in the afternoon. Let's see how low we're gonna make this go. So ladies and gentlemen, let's have a giveaway. It is 1:02. The closest person to guess in the comment section down below, how low do we bring our micron gauge down to? The closest, doesn't have to be without going over or going under. The closest person to guess the micron number that we bring this down to is going to win a prize. The prize is going to consist of a Mikey Pipe swag pack, and I'm also going to give you something cool. Maybe, just maybe, I'll send you something from ACiQ, like a sticker. Like a sticker. I got ACiQ. Do you? Actually, I just thought of it. The grand prize winner of today's giveaway, I am going to give a Viver refrigeration recovery machine. I have one sitting in the shop that Viver sent us last year. No one claimed it, but a Viver refrigeration recovery machine. All right, without cheating. If you cheat, God will strike death to you. So do not cheat. And if you don't believe in God, karma will strike you dead. Don't cheat. The closest guess in the comments section how low we bring these microns down to before we shut it down is going to win a swag pack and that recovery machine. Think I'm bullshitting? No, I'm not. Dead serious. I have it in the shop right now in Long Island, New York. All right. 3390, 3480, 3500, 3520, 28. Oh, that thing jumping all over the place. Like, yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, I was going to bring this. I swear I was going to bring this. But this is the first episode of the ACiQ Field Activation Program installation, commissioning, and startup. I was going to bring the ACiQ Tools True Vac Plus hose set with the Micron gauge. But I didn't want to have a check luggage. I didn't. But I think on future installs we're going to have to bring those tools with us, because there's a reason why I get the jobs installed and, well, before lunch. I don't want to rub any salt in the wound over here, but you need the right tools for the job. But you can still get the job done. It's going to take you a little bit longer. So it is what it is. Remember that, folks. It is what it is. But I promise you this, on the next ACiQ install we do, we're going to be bringing the right tools for the job. You can best believe that. All right, folks. We are at 200. I don't know if you can see that on your screen. 199, 198, 201, 199, 198. Now, remember, folks, this number is going to change. It could jump up a little bit. It could jump back down, because as we're in that negative atmosphere, we're in a vacuum. So any moisture, which is water, is boiling off, and that's going to expand like, I don't know, 20 million times its size. Not 20 million times, but drastically. And that's going to throw off your inches of actually water column, but you're not in inches of water column, you're in negative pressure, so we measure in microns. Remember that. We are not hacks. We are professionals. We're dedicating time now to make sure this perfect install will be more perfect and more reliable for years to come when we remove all of that, all those non-condensables that are in the lines, the moisture. We want this system tight and dry. And it gives the fellas an opportunity to finish up the install by doing the electric. As long as we keep pulling down a vacuum, we can run our disconnect, our whip, our surge protection device, start cleaning up, leave this vacuum pump on for as long as possible. Let this be the last thing you take off and bring back to the truck. All right. Juan is finishing up the installation by running that drain hose down the inside of the line hide to the ground. You may think we're almost done, but now comes the most important part of the job, and that's commissioning this beautiful ACiQ Extreme 9,000 BTU single zone heat pump system. Anybody can hang a unit on the wall, but this is where we make sure it actually performs well for many, many, many years. Right now we're doing that nitrogen. Start over. Right now we're pulling that vacuum, also duplicating a tightness test. We're gonna do a decay test in just a few moments. Our Micron gauge is reading 166. I don't think you can see it. There you go. Sorry, folks. 171, 179, 180, 181, 182. Remember, if there's going to be a leak, it's going to be there and be present now. And leaks don't fix themselves. You skip this step, you're setting up the system for failure. And we don't want to have that. We want to make sure the only maintenance this homeowner needs to worry about is cleaning that filter on the indoor unit and making sure that outdoor coil is clean at all times. Speaking of maintenance, this Bosch IDS 2.0 was installed 2 years ago and has not been maintained since then. You can blame that on the homeowner. You can also maybe blame that on the contractor, who has not been back here since then. But if you take a peek inside, we got a lot of growth, a lot of old leaves. But the coil, while it looks clean, bet you's kind of dirty. Don't neglect your HVAC equipment, folks. You neglect your equipment, you're not going to be a happy camper when it's 95 degrees out here in sunny Central Florida. You're going to be sweating and be wishing that you called for service sooner. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's about that time. I got to give a huge shout out to Dallas. Huge shout out to Jesus, Tyler, and Juan. They are the kings of mini splits. and they're located in Central Florida. So before I let you all go, we need to spend some time with Dallas, just a few moments, because I got a few questions to ask them, because they are ACiQ Deal of the Month for May 2026. Let's go. Dallas, it's a beautiful truck.
Thank you.
And I know you got a couple of them. You got two, I got Chevy Express cargo vans, right? And you guys got a pickup truck. What are your future plans over the next like 6-12 months? Any expansion with the vehicles?
Yeah, absolutely. We're looking to add another vehicle by the end of the year and another employee.
Excellent.
And things are looking good. We got tons and tons of reviews. If you go to Kings of Mini Splits in Leesburg, Florida, 202 West Main Street, we have a store. But go on I encourage you to go online and look at our reviews. And I'm very proud of it. And we've worked hard to get the reviews we've got. If you need to reach out to us anytime, 407-439-5464. Please call us. And I have my personal number on my truck is 407. Oh no, I'm sorry, that is not the personal number. My personal number is 352-444-0066. You can call me direct. That's office number that I gave you before.
Awesome. A couple other quick questions. How long you guys been in business? I know it's been a couple of years.
5 years we started this business by scratch, and we've worked
from the
together.
ground up.
We just kept doing a couple for our friend, a couple for us, and we decided to get our own HVAC contractor license and move forward with it, and things have been doing really good for us. We work in the Villages up in Leesburg, Florida. The Villages, big growing company. They build homes. I think they're building 2,000 homes a year, and they say they got enough to go for the next 25 years.
Wow.
So we do a lot of lanais in people's garages, and we put the cassettes in the ceilings for the lanais, and yeah, you can see what a cassette looks like. This would be flush in your ceiling, and these are our wall mounts.
Very, very nice. Now, even though you primarily install ACiQ, you do install other brands.
We would. We
Excellent.
prefer ACiQ. We really like the units.
Good value.
Yes, very much for your money. Excellent. If I was going to put brand new air conditioning in my entire house, I would use ACiQ. Some people say they want to use a Mitsubishi. You're getting no better quality with Mitsubishi than you are ACiQ.
Awesome. One last question. I know you service Central Florida.
Correct.
Primarily the Villages, but you also go into Orlando, Winter Garden, Winter Haven, and Sanford.
Sanford, yeah.
So all of
Orlando,
Orange, Seminole
Daytona.
County, a little bit of Volusia County as well.
Yeah.
Any specials right now you want to make an announcement on? Any first-time caller, any service call discounts, any specials you can think of?
We would give a discount on any first-time callers from this video that calls us. We would take 3% off right off the gate like that for you. We price
Awesome.
it, and we also offer military discounts.
Okay, very, very nice. Senior citizens too?
Yes, senior citizens for sure.
Excellent. And thank you to our first responders and the military. We thank all of you guys for your service.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dallas, for this amazing install today. I know that these homeowners are going to be really, really happy. Now, you also offer maintenance plans, I heard?
Yes, we're working on maintenance plans where we could also give you a lifetime warranty for a maintenance plan, where we would come in at maybe $35, $40 a month for life.
Amazing.
You would never have to worry about a thing.
Amazing. Perfect. 'Cause I do something almost identical to that. So at Pipe Doctor Home Services, we're based in Long Island, New York, Charleston, South Carolina, and Palm Beach, Florida. We used to be in Central Florida, but we're going to refer all of that air conditioning work. And if you know a good plumber, I get a lot of plumbing referrals. I give you a lot of work. But if you live in the Long Island, New York City metropolitan area, and you install an ACiQ product from Pipe Doctor Home Services for $34 a month, we give you the bumper-to-bumper unconditional warranty. Covers parts and labor with one exception, and gives you 2 annual visits where we do basically a wellness check on the system. $34 a month, a lifetime warranty on parts and labor, and we come twice a year to further make sure that your investment will last for years to come. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. If you smash that thumbs up button, check out the Kings of Mini Splits in Central Florida. There'll be links down in the description box down below for their Instagram, their YouTube, TikTok, all those other social media platforms. But they give them a huge round of applause because they did a phenomenal job here. But as much as the good of the equipment is, it's the contractor that puts them in that really makes that equipment shine.
I don't know.
Oh my God. So I'm telling the guys about ways and tools to make your job easier. So I'm telling Dallas and Tyler and Juan and Jesus about the Navic automatic flaring tool. And I show it to you on True Tech Tools. I tell you about the promo code Know-It-All. You get 7% off, and it's not me. It's another YouTube creator, Mr. Know-It-All. That's his promo code. So Jesus brings this thing out. Just look at this for a second. So here is this, it's called Superstars, right? Flaring tool. So I grabbed the first one out of it, and it's a nice solid piece, right? But I'm trying to open it, and it's hard, right? It's heavy, right? And you got to put the pipe in there, 1/2 inch, and then you got to close it, and then you got to, hold on, and then you got to spin it on to this thing, the STE 800. I guess you lock it into there, and then you turn it on. But I'm looking at this power adapter thingy. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? Hold on. Did you steal some Europe? Did Europe let you know? Did the EU let you know that you had this?
Dang no, man. That's just what I got.
Where'd you get it from? Jesus, huh? Oh my God. You know what? You can teach an old, well, you can't, as an old saying goes, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but they even give you like this little flaring, deburring tool.
Yours didn't come with that.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But you know what? I'm going to talk to my boy Kevin over at ACiQ. He's going to have to hook you up. Okay. Because this is, come on. You're dealer of the month. Oh my God. I am spending their money right now. I am spending their money. Penny, as the first ACiQ dealer of the month, they're going to send you a Navic automatic flaring tool. Or if Kevin actually decides to build one of his own, an ACiQ automatic flaring tool.
That'll work.
That works. I agree.
That'll work.
Amazing. Okay, so full disclosure, that T is leaking. We're down to how many microns? 133. All right, 132. All right, you ready? Let's dump the charge. Let's fire this bad boy up.
This is popping along leak detector here, buddy.
Elitech.
Elitech.
Yeah, they used to sponsor my channel at one point. Combustible, I say the refrigerant leak detector. Very nice. You know, full disclosure, guys, I didn't see any nitrogen tank here do a pressure test. Just saying. Just saying. We'll have to catch that on the rebound. On the next one. Now, for a little added insurance policy, we have a surge protector right here. We have our nice disconnect. Juan is opening up the service valve caps so we could use an Allen key or a service wrench to open up those valves. And then we're all gonna like hold our breath, make sure we don't hear any Nice job with the 1/2 inch liquid tight. We have the anchors into the block wall. There's our condensate drain going outside. Really, really nice, superb job Juan did here. Amazing. I don't know, guys. You know, if I had a branch here in Florida, I may have to steal them from you. Sorry, just keeping it real. Phenomenal work that this young man did here on this install. Phenomenal. We're being very, very quiet. We're hunting rabbit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's battery time. All right, do the honors. Let's make that thing ice cold like Siberia.
Oh yeah.
In January. There you go. Siberia in January. 60 sounds about right.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, so a little bit of final touches here, folks. Some insulating foam tape around the exposed line set. Now, while it's outside right now, doesn't really matter, but it's what sets the professionals apart from the children.
That's right.
You know, you want to hire a professional, you're going to get a professional job. You want to hire a hack? Well, why pay twice? Pay once. So it's important that the copper refrigeration lines be insulated. We're keeping that temperature where it needs to be. But if this is inside, it's even more important because you'll have condensation forming on that line, which will then equal a water leak. You don't want to have that. Call a professional. Check out this whisper quiet ductless mini split system, folks. The thing right now is still set for 60. It's whisper quiet. We're condensing. That's all the humidity being extracted from this house. We got surge protection, line set cover, and now we have another satisfied client with an ACiQ system. So the only question that remains is, I got ACiQ, do you?
Oh, it's like an ice bag. I'm freezing.
Oh my God, she's freezing! Shiver me timbers! It is freezing in here, ladies and gentlemen. Shiver me timbers. Woo! They aren't going to be complaining anymore. You want to know why? Because they got ACiQ.
Approximately 10 hours later.
First night's sleep with ACiQ. I'm in disbelief. I am in utter disbelief. The entire house last night was set to 74 degrees, which is perfect. Central Florida weather, 74 degrees at night, as you know, is perfect. But in the bedroom when you're sleeping, it's not. I set that beautiful machine to 62 degrees last night. And when I tell you that I woke up feeling like a Roman king, well rested, air conditioning is ice cold, I am in disbelief. Thank you, ACiQ. By the way, this machine is not big. Like, it looks maybe like it's big from back there. This is a small machine. And it cooled the entire half of my house to 62 degrees quietly. Thank you, ACiQ.